Good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. Begin to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minupurarachi.
And I'm Natalia Viravardhana. First, let's take a look at the headlines for tonight.
The IMF Executive Board completes the third review under the EFF, providing Sri Lanka with immediate access to $334 million. The government reiterates that the receipt of the fourth IMF installments signifies the strong economic stability of the country. Chairman of the CPC says that there is no dispute pertaining to fuel distribution. 29 persons injured in a road accident in Muthur. Rupavahini receives 31 nominations at the 21st Ricom Teles Awards Festival. The zones number 1 and 2 in the Yala Sanctuary have been closed down temporarily. A heated exchange of words between the Ukraine and US presidents.
Another top story for tonight, the IMF Executive Board completed the third review under the Extended Fund Facility with Sri Lanka, providing the country with immediate access to about $334 million to support its economic policies and reforms. The IMF says all quantitative targets for end December 2024 were met. Most structural benchmarks due by end January 2025 were met, and the recent successful completion of the bond exchange is a major milestone towards restoring debt sustainability. IMF Deputy Managing Director Kenji Okamura says reforms in Sri Lanka are bearing fruit and the economic recovery has been remarkable. Inflation remains low, revenue collection is improving and reserves continue to accumulate. Economic growth averaged 4.3% since growth resumed in the third quarter 2023. By end 2024, Sri Lanka's real GDP is estimated to have recovered 40% of its loss incurred between 2018 and 2023. The recovery is expected to continue in 2025. A media briefing of the IMF executive officials regarding Sri Lanka receiving the fourth tranche of the IMF package is scheduled to be conducted next Tuesday. Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando says the receipt of fourth IMF installment signifies the vibrant economic stability of the country.
Addressing a media briefing at the Government Information Department today, the minister further said that the present government has been successful in launching a conducive tendency for investors.
It's another moment that as a country we need to focus and look at. The important aspect as of now is to prepare the economy to take off, to reach the level that we are seeking for. There are a few fundamental aspects that we need to facilitate in order to do that one. While building confidence, while introducing structural reform, there are key areas that we need to focus on because we are still at the beginning of the journey. Given the situation Sri Lanka was in, this is an important milestone. It's an important outcome because it adds up to the equation on continuation and the consistency on the path to create the economic stability. Contrary to the belief of many, government several rational measures, calculated decisions in order to stabilize the economy. In this process, one of them was to stay within the IMF program. Another was to facilitate the debt restructuring program, support the business ecosystem, facilitate the market mechanism to continue, intervene on a proportionate approach whenever it was necessary, particularly when the prevailing mechanisms were unable to deliver the mandate of people and expectations of people. In this process, there are several priorities as a government that we need to look into. One of them is the creation of economic stability, macro level stability. With a lot of effort and support from everyone, the present government was able to achieve that objective within a short period of time. That does not mean the journey is completed, but we are at a critical point that we have achieved a lot within a short period of time. In some cases, to exceed the expectations of some of the parties involved in this process. It is very important to ensure confidence is built across the board. Local investors, business community, SME sector, citizens who were trying to leave Sri Lanka because they have lost hope to stay in Sri Lanka, and to give confidence to the international investors and community as well. that we are on a steady path of growth and we are directing and navigating the economy in the correct trajectory, allowing businesses to perform at their best capacity, state institutions to provide the regulatory framework, ensure conduct is monitored on an appropriate basis, intervene on a timely manner to achieve the collective objectives to take the economy to the next level.
IMF did not impose anything or force anything. The IMF's concern, especially when we work within a kind of a constrained framework, the Treasury should not bear the unnecessary cost of SOEs, because when SOE comes out with a particular product, especially energy or any other thing, it should be cost reflective and there shouldn't be unnecessary burden to the Treasury, because we had a bad experience of corruption and unnecessary borrowing, wrong dealings. So therefore it is a myth that IMF insisted. IMF wanted to have a very disciplined approach towards restructuring. Restructuring does not mean that selling. We are working on it. We have just appointed a committee. They are looking after all these SOEs to take how best we can manage these things without passing or having a burden on the Treasury, and meantime to increase the efficiency. And so these are the approaches. And again, how best we could utilize all those institutions in order to make sure that there would not be market failures, there would not be any oligarchies in the market, and to ensure that we would be able to provide goods and services to the market at an affordable rate, continuously in good quality. So this is the line of dealing with SOEs, and that restructuring process is going on. Immediately after this, the release of the fourth tranche, the fourth review will start probably in April. So during that, so the things are open for discussion, but while continuing the existing benchmark, already certain benchmarks are there. Some alterations can be done from time to time depending on the requirement. For instance, building external buffer, the reserve. So it is not mere statistics or deterministic science. It varies from time to time. So then and there, by assessing the given situation, we would discuss. We are very open, and that could be seen in the fourth review.
Meanwhile, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says there is no problem relating to distribution of fuel. Chairman of the CPC, Janaka Rajkaruna, says nearly 3,000 orders have been received by this afternoon. CPC Chairman Janaka Rajkaruna has assured the public that there will be no shortage of fuel in the country and therefore urged consumers not to panic. He further said that retail sellers have not confirmed any stoppage of fuel orders. The chairman of the CPC said that there are sufficient fuel stocks in the country. He further pointed out that required fuel stocks for the following day have already been ordered. He said that the current situation is an act of sabotage by an organized group. The chairman further clarified that petroleum retailers are considered as a part of Petroleum Corporation and the corporation will not take any action to charge from the consumer excessively.
ජනතාවගේ අසාධාරණ විදියට මුදල් අරගෙන බෙදුම්කරුවන් අතරට බෙදා දෙන්නත් බෑ. අන්න එහෙම ඉල්ලන කොට්ටාසයක් ඉන්නවා. මේ ආණ්ඩුව වැඩ කරන්නේ සියලු දෙනා එක විදියට. මුදලාලිට ගන්න ඕන අවශ්‍ය තීන්දුව ගන්නවා. නමුත් බෙදුම්කරුවන් අපිත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන කට්ටියට දෙන්න ඕන සියලු සහන දෙනවා.
Fuel distribution at the Kolonava terminal is being carried out as usual. Receiving of orders has been conducted today as well. The CPC says fuel stocks have been dispatched to distribution centres island-wide.
And meanwhile, Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister on Economic Development Dr. Anil Janta said that in Parliament today that there is no truth whatsoever in the statements made by certain groups over a fuel shortage through social media. He reiterates that there is no shortage of fuel stocks in the country. Parliamentarian Gayantha Karunatilaka said that this was a problem affecting the entire country and added that people are expecting a solution. He had also inquired whether the problem would last long. Minister Dr. Anil Janta Fernando said that social media had created an impression of a fuel shortage by pointing out at queues in the filling stations. This is not a problem relating to fuel shortage but a problem created by fuel dealers in the past few days. Fuel orders have been carried out appropriately in the past few days by the CPC. Accordingly, 1,100 to 1,200 orders are being received daily. Altogether, 1,800 orders had been received in the past few days. The government is not aware whether fuel distributors were motivated by earning higher profits by engaging in higher sales. No official notification has been made regarding not distributing fuel. However, social media are trying to create panic among the general public through misguided news. This is a crisis deliberately created by a small group in order to put the country in a state of difficulty. Minister Bima Ratnayaka said that the fuel has arrived. This is not a problem of the Petroleum Ministry or the Petroleum Corporation. The government is acting according to a court order. Those who are working against the order show disrespect to the judiciary. This could be a conspiracy of a small group of businessmen to bow down a government with a massive people's mandate.
A road accident in Irudayapuram in Muttur on the Trincomalee-Batiklo main road has resulted in the injuries of 29 persons. A private bus carrying a group of local tourists had clashed with a container truck this afternoon. The group from Veyangoda was on their way to visit the Seruvila Rajamaha Viharaya. Some of the injured admitted to the Muttur hospital were transferred to the Trincomalee hospital for further treatment. The police says there were 3 children among the victims. A person had succumbed to injuries upon being trampled by a large boulder in stone quarry in Mirigama. 2 other seriously injured persons were admitted to the Mirigama hospital and later on transferred to the Colombo National Hospital. The deceased was a resident of Mirigama.
The national television was endowed with the unique distinction of securing 31 nominations at the 21st Draigam Telees Awards Festival, the Voters' Edge in Colombo yesterday. The guest of honor at the event was veteran artist Lushan Bulat Sinhala. Presentation of the Awards of Excellence is to be conducted under 2 categories. The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has been successful in winning 14 nominations of excellence in the media division. Narad Bakmiwava was nominated as the Best Sinhala Presenter of the Year. The Best Tamil Television Presenters were Maria German and Pranitha Koneshwaran. The name of Fatima Sharifa Tahir of ChannelEye has been included among the nominations for Most Excellent English Presenter of the Year. A special feature has been the nomination of Fatima Sharifa Tahir as the Best Female English News Anchor of the Year as well. Siobhan Pereira has been nominated as the Most Excellent Male English News Presenter of the Year. The Best Tamil nominated female news anchor of the year was Nagaratnam Debadarshini. Jaimini Ileperuma was nominated as the producer of the Best Sports Program of the Year titled Cricket Gamata. The national television has received 2 out of the 3 nominations for the Most Excellent Educational Television Programs of the Year. Nilufa Mohotti and Sanka Niroshana were nominated for the production of the Jatika Pasula program. It was also a national television artist who was nominated for the Best Television Dubbing Program of the Year. Buddhika Sampath Fonseca has received the nominations for the Tuhiravi program telecast over the national TV. Asela Bandaranaike was also nominated for the Best Television Documentary of the Year for his production titled Vare program. Suminda Tilakasena of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation was also nominated for the Most Excellent TV Magazine program named Sangyuga. Anoma Veerasekara was also nominated as the Best TV program named Rhythma. A unique feature has been the national television winning 17 nominations in the Teledrama Excellence category. Shalita Gunawardena, who was the makeup artist of the Viali teledrama, received nominations for the Most Excellent TV Makeup. Manula Ayagama of the same teledrama was nominated for the Best Teledrama Arts Direction of the Year. 2 of the 3 teledramas nominated for the Most Excellent Teledrama Camera Technology were from the national television. One of the nominations was for Chandana Jayasinghe in the Viali teledrama and the other nomination for Sisira Paranavitana for the Api teledrama. Indika Javardhana was nominated for the Best Teledrama Editing of the Year for his performance in the Viali teledrama. Darshanarwan Disanayaka, who was the music director of the Viali teledrama, was nominated as the Most Excellent Teledrama Music Director of the Year. Tosit Simpson was nominated as the Most Excellent Singer in Teledrama for his role in the Das Agata Pinihela song in the Viali teledrama.
Hansani Kandagedara, who also took part in singing in the same song, was nominated as the Most Excellent Female Singer of the Year. The Best Teledrama Male Supporting Actor of the Year was Sarath Kotalawala of the Viyali Teledrama. Chandima Karunadasa of the Viyali Teledrama was also nominated as the Best Female Supporting Actress of the Year. The Best Teledrama Actor of the Year was Akalanka Prabhashwara, who was nominated for his performance in the Viyali Teledrama. Tarindi Fernando of the Viyali Teledrama was nominated as the Best Actress of the Year. Chandana Irugal Bandara was nominated for the Best Teledrama Direction for Viyali Teledrama. Viyali Teledrama was nominated as the Best Teledrama of the Year. Nilufani Roshini the Alvis was nominated in this connection. The nomination of the Best Single Episode Teledrama of the Year was won by Diluka Prasad Gunatilaka and Ananda Abhenayaka for their performances in the Pangiri Suvanda and Jeevitheka Nimeshyak teledramas respectively. In addition to the Awards of Excellence, awards are to be presented for the Most Popular Program category. The awards presentation is scheduled to take place on the 29th of this month in Colombo.
Meanwhile, on other stories, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that all government employees, including those in the health sector, will receive a substantial salary increase from April this year, according to the budget proposals. The minister stresses that certain trade union leaders are attempting to create a false impression over salaries in the nurses' service. He also points out that there is no indirect cutbacks in salary increases in any form.
හෙද ශ්‍රේණිය 3 MT7 කැටගරි වැටු ශ්‍රේණියේ එයාට තිබුණේ මූලික වැටුව රුපියල් 32525ක් පමණයි. රුපියල් 54920 දක්වා වැටු වැඩි කළා තියෙනවා. මූලික වැටුපේ වැඩිම පමණ රුපියල් 22395.
said that the nurses grading are concerned with 3 MT7 grading. The basic salary is 32,525 rupees. It was increased to 54,920 rupees. The increase in the basic salary alone is 22,395 rupees. Accordingly, the OT payment has been increased to 290 rupees per hour by 75 rupees for an hour. The daily allowance was at 1,084 rupees and it was increased to 1,831 rupees. This category had received only a sum of 104,000 rupees as a gross salary. This has been increased to 133,640 rupees, an increase of 29,159 rupees. In the second category, there are 9,400 male and female nurses. Their basic salary was at 37,063 rupees. It was increased to 64,500 rupees. The OT, which was at 255 rupees per hour, was increased to 345 rupees per hour by 90 rupees. The daily allowance was at 1,881 rupees and it was increased to 2,150 rupees. There are 16,000 employees in the first category. Their basic salary was 44,965 rupees, which was increased to 77,850 rupees. Accordingly, the basic salary was increased by 32,885 rupees. The current OT is at 305 rupees and it has been increased to 420 rupees. The daily allowance is 2,248 rupees and it has been increased to 2,595 rupees. Now the nurses are in the super grade salary category. Those in the basic salary category of 53,035 rupees have a salary increase to 92,460 rupees by 39,425 rupees. An OTR is 350 rupees at present, which has been increased to 500 rupees. The daily allowance of 2,651 rupees has been increased to 3,082 rupees. Currently, they are receiving 54,023 rupees. The basic salary will increase to 94,060 rupees. The OT payment of 390 rupees will be increased to 445 rupees, which is an increase of 150 rupees. The daily allowance has been increased from 2,711 rupees to 3,135 rupees. However, a small group of nurses are creating a false impression regarding the salary increases. These groups are saying that salaries have been indirectly cut back by 20,000 rupees. One trade union leader had tried to point out that 7,500 rupees added to the basic salary had no meaning. The next stage of salary increase will take place next year and the other is to be conducted in 2027. According to the basic salary to be carried out in 2027 January, 39,000 more will be added. The nurses have been warned not to be deceived by these agitators.
Minister Harsha Naik says that all those connected to bribery and corruption will be brought before the judiciary, and he has made these remarks participating in the 2025 Appropriation Draft Bill Committee stage debate in Parliament today.
When it comes to national unity and reconciliation, peace between races, to live dignified, in a dignified manner for all of us, that's my vision and my dream. It will be done. Also, I must say that when it comes to the lawmaking process, we don't consider all of you who are sitting in the opposition benches as our opponents, but as our partners in progress, that we work together. At election times, we can be opponents, but right now, we all work for the betterment of the country. So, national unity and reconciliation, peace building, friendship making, that is inherent in our program.
I saw, with regard to prisons, over 30% of the budget has been, 30% of your budget is with regard to prison and prison reforms. If you can take the magazine prison, if you can shift that, those resources can be used, and you don't have to have prisons in urban areas. If you can create more prisons in other areas, the facilities can be given. If you take the conditions of prisoners today, they don't have basic water and sanitation. I respectfully urge you to look at these issues which I raised, Honourable Minister, which I'm sure will strengthen the legal process in this country.
Much Honourable MP for all those valuable inputs. Also, I may want to bring to your attention that there are staff shortages in the prisons, but we have recruited 142 prison guards last month and plan to recruit another 205 prison guards this year. 400 million rupees granted to develop the sanitary issues in island-wide prisons. Valigat is also included, and the work is ongoing, working with the water board. Also, capacity increasing, Palakale prison, we are spending 450 million, Veeravela 30 million, Maharat 220 million, Kaludra Batrak and others 500 million. UDA gave 200 acres in Horana for the shifting, because not only Valigat is outdated and overcrowded, human rights aspect need to be looked after, they need more space. So I think very soon we have started, the groundbreaking project has started, we are planning to move it to Horana. These things are in the pipeline.
We would all agree that there are so many delays in our legal system which has a huge social impact on the lives and the livelihoods of our people. Sometimes people have to wait for generations to get an answer or basically get some sort of redress from the judicial system. In a research done by the Judicial Services Commission, approximately 1.1 million cases is in a state of delay. In the Supreme Court, there's 5,600 cases, Court of Appeal 6,100 cases, Civil Appellate Court 28,000, High Courts 254,000, and in the Magistrates Court 791,000. Finally, like to wish Honourable Harsha Naik the best, and we would like to extend our assistance to basically solve the legal issues which we have to face in Sri Lanka.
Honourable MP, Madam, now the Gaul lawyers matter I have attended to, 2 groups of lawyers came. It's UDA land, so I assisted. But however, if things are not being solved, please ask them and lead them to me. I will attend to the matter. I fully understand. And also, you'll be happy to note that we have started the court digitalization, rapid digitalization program. Justice Arjuna Bensekhar's committee is considering it, and one of the model courts we are going to use for that purpose will be the Kandy one. So you should be getting the digitalization a little earlier than the rest of the country. So we'll be attending to. Thank you very much.
And the auction for 14 luxury vehicles belonged by the President's office, 6 decommissioned vehicles and various spare parts was held yesterday. This decision was made with the objective of reducing government expenditure and promoting financial accountability. Accordingly, 15 vehicles were auctioned yesterday, including 9 Defenders Jeeps, 1 Volvo Jeep, a Chrysler car, a Mahindra Bolero, and a Rosa bus, a Discovery vehicle and a Toyota car. The auction for the remaining vehicles is scheduled to take place soon. These vehicles were not those allocated to the permanent staff of the Presidential Secretariat, but were instead used by advisors and personnel appointed under Article 41, subsection 1 of the Constitution by the former President during his tenure. There was significant demand for the purchase of these vehicles. Bidding submissions were accepted until 12 noon yesterday, and the opening of bids continued until 8 p.m. Approximately 199 business personnel participated in the event.
In an exclusive interview with Rupavahini, Deputy Minister Harshana Suryaperuma said that the tax on service exports was not a new tax scheme implemented by the present government. He said that the tax proposed by the previous government was much higher than the currently introduced scheme.
Even though we are within the IMF program, present government had discussions with the IMF to ensure we provide the best benefit to our service exporters, because that's one of the thrust sectors in the economy, that we want to take the IT exports from less than $1.5 billion to $5 billion by 2030. In order to achieve those objectives, the current government reduced the tax from the 30% to the current level of 15%. That is a 50% reduction of taxes. Not only that, the practical reality of application of the tax of 15%. Sri Lanka is a signatory for over 40 countries on double taxation treaties, or commonly known as DTAs, meaning in the country in which to which the service have been rendered and delivered, at the time of making the payment to Sri Lanka, if that country has deducted taxes from you as a service provider, perhaps as a freelancer, then that taxes that have been deducted, you are allowed to deduct that tax from the 15% that you are supposed to pay to the IRD. Meaning, out of the 40 plus countries that I went through, majority of them are having more than 15% as taxes. So if the amount of taxes paid in those countries, respective countries to which the services have been rendered, some may be to Europe, some may to USA, some may be to East Asian countries, example, then the amount of tax that you pay here in Sri Lanka is after deducting the taxes that you paid in the other countries. So that will give you additional relief that are not available to rest of the taxpayers. Another advantage particularly provided for the service exporters is, given the high level of net value addition through service exports, the expenses that you incur when delivering these services are allowed to be deducted before paying the taxes. I'll take an example. You may be using a laptop, your internet connection, the data connection fees, electricity consumption proportionate to the service that you deliver. Because this is considered as profits earned by delivering this service as an export service, you are allowed to deduct those expenses that I mentioned also. If it is the expense relating to the laptop, the amount of capital allowance or depreciation equivalent, you are able to deduct from your income sources that you receive. The monthly bills relating to internet, electricity and other expenses attributable to generating the income from this service, you are able to deduct that one as well. So there are a lot of advantages to make use when you join and contribute to the development of country by paying your direct tax component. And another aspect is, this is not a tax relating to deducted at source by the government. So when the money comes to the bank, government will not deduct your taxes from there. It is at the time of submitting your returns that the disclosures have to come, that the declarations have to come, indicating the details that you have to pay. So there's a timing advantage as well for service exporters, IT professionals, to consider this amount that you need to pay as taxes as well. So there are multiple advantages compared to other taxpayers in this regard for IT service exporters. Further, the biggest advantage is it is capped at 15%. Accordingly, if the additional income that you get, contrary to other income earner who's getting a salary at 500,000 salary as an employment income in Sri Lanka, they might have to pay at the 36% bracket, whereas IT service exporters, it is capped at 15%.
And zones number 1 and 2 of the Yala National Wildlife Sanctuary has been kept closed until further notice due to the prevailing inclement weather condition. However, the Galge entrance remain open, enabling visitors to travel in the Yala zones 3, 4 and 5. The Department of Wildlife Conservation says that roads in the zones 1 and 2 have been inundated due to the existing rainy weather condition. Several reservoirs inside the park are at the overflowing level. The bad weather also has created a threat of causing further damage to the roads as a result of entering vehicles into the Yala Sanctuary. The departments add that facilities are being provided continuously to the tourists visiting the Yala zones 3, 4 and 5 via the Galge entrance, although a temporary closure of the zones 1 and 2 has been proclaimed.
Veteran actress Susantha Chandramali has passed away. The remains lie at residence number 172 upon 3 Suhadamavata, Kutalavala, Kadwela. The funeral will take place at the Gamanapura General Cemetery, Kutalavala, Kadwela on Monday at 6 p.m. The late artist, who has been receiving hospital treatment for some time, was 61 years old at the time of demise. She was born in Mulkirigala in Hambantota in 1964. She had contributed in acting to many teledramas, including Muthu Palasa, Charulata and Denuvara Manike. Susantha Chandramali had also acted in several movies, which included Saroja, Rankevita and Pravegaya. She was the mother of young actress Tisuri Yuvanika. And we'll bring you foreign news right after this break.
Side after what he describes as a tough dialogue with US President Trump.
He adds that the Ukraine is ready to sign the US proposed minerals deal but needs security guarantees from Washington. During the fiery showdown with US President yesterday, Trump accused Zelensky of gambling with World War III.
The war, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice hopes and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. Yes, you will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're not.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't.
Moving on to sports news, Chamod De Silva, representing Sri Lanka Police, has become the winner of the second day of the Air Force Cycle Tour.
And he has secured the second position in the first day of the tour, which got underway yesterday. The Air Force Cycle Tour has been organized in connection with the 74th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force. The event is being conducted for the 26th occasion. Today's race has commenced in front of the Sabaragamu grounds in Ratnapura at 8:30 am. The competitors have ended their race today in front of the Plant Quarantine Service Office in Kandy, cycling their way via Galhitiya, Kurapita, Ahaliyagoda, Avasavela, Talduwa, Karavanella, Ruandala, Kotiyakumbura, Galigamuwa, Nelundeniaptu, Mavanella, and thereafter proceeding along Pilimatalawa, Peradeniya and Gannorua. The total distance of today's race was 118.3 kilometers. The runners-up of today's cycling race was Avishka Mazadona of the Diamond Riders Sports Club. The third place was clinched by Sri Lanka Army sportsman Sandarwan Pinto. Tomorrow's race will get underway in front of the Plant Service Office in Gannorua to the Goldface Green in Colombo. The distance of tomorrow's competition is 155.2 kilometers. The national television viewers will be accorded the opportunity to watch live tomorrow's proceedings as well via ChannelEye from 8:30 am onwards.
අපි දකින්නේ අංග 96 ක්‍රීඩකයා ඉදිරියෙන් ගමන් කළා විශේෂයෙන්ම ඉදාමත්ම තියුණු තරගයක්.
That's it on tonight's stories. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, Sanago with Natalia. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.